yeah, I can tell for certain it's not going to take a spark, so I'm gonna have to figure something else out. So plan B is I will use this for the base of my bird's nest, and I'm gonna try to get some shavings off of this. The problem is this is not really very dry, so I'm gonna get some really fine shavings off of it and see if I can kind of create some stuff that's fibrous enough to catch a spark, turn to a flame, which hopefully will ignite this. I'm going to use my glove here to gather these shavings. And the outside of this wood I can feel is damp, but it gets drier towards the inner part of it. So I'm trying to carve off the outside. Yeah, I can feel the moisture in that. I don't know, we'll see, guys. I'm holding my blade at 90 degrees to the wood, and I'm basically scraping like this. And the less pressure I put, the finer the shavings it makes. Alright, so what I did is I made a little bird's nest out of that moss. I put the shavings in the middle of it. So what I'm going to attempt to do is get this to go to flame with my fire steel, and then I'll transfer it underneath here. If for whatever reason I don't feel like I can transfer this to there, I've got the backup plan of having this really fine little bundle of sticks right here that I will hold over it and get this lit and then transfer this into there. Wow, this is concerning. There's just so much moisture in the air here. None of this stuff will take a spark and turn into flame. All right, I'm gonna have to go to plan C. So, plan C, I have my cravat with me. I'm going to attempt to get some fine tinder off of my cravat. This will basically just get me a little bit of lint off of here. I'm going to kneel down on that. That'll keep this tight. And I'm just getting this lint off of my cravat. So now I've got this pretty good little bundle of lint right here. These shavings, hopefully the lint will take a spark, create a little flame, it'll start these shavings, I'll be able to transfer it to there, or use my secondary to get it burning. So we'll try this. This is plan C. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that. I think we got fire, boys. Now the nice thing about this fire structure is now I'm just going to start laying my twigs in on the other side, and I've got my teepee. So that was it. That was fire in about as wet of an environment as I've ever been in. So plan A was I tried to use the Spanish moss. The Spanish moss out here does not take a spark and go right to flame like the old man's beard on my side of the mountains is. So plan B was to find the driest twig I could and make some wood shavings. So plan B did not work. Those wood shavings, just enough moisture in them that they would not take a spark and go to flame. So plan C was I took my cravat that I always carry in my chest pack, and I used my knife to process it down into really, really fine lint. That lint took a spark like a champ, turned to flame. That was enough to catch my wood shavings, which were enough to catch my tinder bundle, and then I was able to slide that under my pre-prepared fire lay and get a nice little fire going. So at this point, I've got a really self-sufficient fire. I can continue to feed it larger and larger pieces of wood, create myself a nice bed of coals, and once I get a nice bed of coals, then I'll be able to start feeding it some damper and damper wood. But the lesson for me is, out in this climate, I think living over on the east side, I take fire for granted. I can always grab some sagebrush bark or some juniper bark or some old man's beard. It'll take a spark from a ferro rod and start a fire, usually no problem. Sometimes a little bit more moisture takes a little bit more work. But this, I was actually getting worried that I wasn't going to be able to make a fire this way. So I was finally able to get fire without using any commercially produced accelerants or tinder. But one of the lessons for me is how important it is to at least have those things in my pack, which I do. So this was a cool little exercise for me. I'm glad I did it. I'll probably actually even do it a couple more times while I'm on this trip, just to get used to working in this environment. So great fun, really enjoyed doing it. Hope you guys enjoyed seeing me go through this process, and I'll catch you on the next one. Coyote works out.